talk about the growing fears over the coronavirus.
Shortly after his return from India, President Trump addressed the nation about fears of an outbreak in the U.S. He's asking Congress for $2.5 billion in emergency funding for a potential outbreak, and he says both Democrats and Republicans in Congress are offering more. He also announced Mike Pence will take the lead on the U.S. response to the virus, working closely with doctors and the CDC moving forward.
We really followed him very closely. A lot of states do. When Mike was governor, Mike Pence of Indiana, they've established great health care. They have a great system there.
There's been one case of the virus in Wisconsin right here in Dane County. Governor Tony Evers today said the key to slowing the spread is to keep sick people at home, especially if you have flu-like symptoms.
The idea is, contain it as much as possible, and it looks like we've been somewhat successful in that in the state of Wisconsin. We haven't had any increase in the numbers.
And that is something officials are stressing. Jennifer Cleasy has you covered on how the State Department of Health Services is working to make sure every community is prepared in case of a pandemic.
State health officials are maintaining the risk for people here in Wisconsin is still low. But after the CDC's warnings yesterday, they are expanding their plans as they continue working with local health departments to prepare for a possible outbreak here. The CDC says schools and workplaces may need to start planning just in case, looking into how to operate if schools close or if people need to work from home. At a news conference this afternoon, State Department of Health Services planners said right now school districts in Wisconsin should be connecting with their local health departments to create these plans.
It's really a case or a matter of picking up those exercises and plans that they've been working on and putting them into place. And so probably the main piece of information to share is to make sure that communication is happening. It's not too soon for it to be happening now.
Health experts say remote classroom learning has been used in the past and could be a solution if there is an outbreak. The state is reviewing its plans for an influenza pandemic to adapt it as needed for a possible coronavirus pandemic. Today, the State Department of Public Instruction reached out to school districts, encouraging them to update their plans in case of a pandemic. They provided guidance on strategies for communications with staff and parents. Some districts have already sent out tips on how people can stay healthy.
Thank you, Jennifer. UW-Madison is suspending a second study abroad program because of fears about coronavirus. It comes after the CDC raised its warning about avoiding non-essential travel to South Korea. The suspension of their South Korea program affects 5 students. UW says their program with China has been suspended since January. 7 students had to cancel their plans as a result.